As the situation started to de-escalate, humiliated BJP government in India, backed by rogue RSS radicals, and the Bollywood-inured Indian media, continued to turn out nothing but fanciful claims. The repatriated Bison pilot was immediately credited with an F-16 kill, turning an embarrassing defeat into a victory for Indian public that were looking for answers from a military that boasts the highest defense spending in the world.
The wreckage of the Pakistani F-16 and how the Indian Air Force knows this is an F-16 is because if you see this part, and Abhijit can explain it to us, it's the exact same part coming straight out of an F-16 fighter aircraft. This is what Pakistan is trying to lie about.
That part is actually a MiG-21 part because the engine that's being shown out there is a JF100. The Pakistanis use the Pratt & Whitney. So the Pratt & Whitney actually has a diamond pattern, so it can't either be the engine cowling there, nor can it be the ribs that hold the engine, because the F-16's interior looks very different to that.
This absurd national narrative of India was soon refuted as reports started to emerge of no missing F-16s from PAF's inventory.
The American security team in Pakistan, who actually physically counted the aircraft both in all the bases that they're deployed at, and they claim that we have counted 76 F-16s, which is actually the number. So there was no loss. After that, the Indian government started lying brazenly.
And you gave him credit for the F-16?
That is his kill. He was the only guy there.
And he did it?
Yeah. That
with an R-73?
Yeah, that is the weapon that he had selected.
We have the R-73 still attached to the motor rail, and it still has the thrust vectoring unit underneath. And this is the missile which many in India claim actually shot down the F-16, which, as we can see, is still here.
Then there's talk of one of the missiles not having a rocket motor, and they said this is the one that was fired against the F-16. They didn't realize that that motor is actually stuck with the wreckage of the aircraft for all to see.
So as the aircraft was hit, it fell over on its left wing and hit the ground on the left side. And these two missiles took most of the impact. And this is the R-73 on the right, under the right wing, not burnt, not destroyed.
Even during a literature festival that was organized in Chandigarh, India, to promote the false narrative, organizers were taken unexpectedly head-on by one of the foreign guests.
I will say with 100% certitude, there was no F-16 struck down. Isn't it odd that parachutes from two very different platforms in that video would look identical?
Some simple but unexpected arguments put by her outraged the organizers and the audience,
so you are accusing
upon
us
which
we
the guest was insulted.
If you want to insult me, we will take it outside.
I have a brigade major.
I will not be insulted.
I'm here with the wreckage of Wing Commander Abhinandan's MiG-21 Bison, which was shot down on February 27th last year. Here's the main tail section, here's the fuselage, and it's a very, very capable MiG-21 because in the nose there would have been a Phasotron Copio radar. In the tail, just around here, it had embedded RWR systems as well. And under the wings, there would have been chaff and flare dispensers. But what makes this more interesting is this is an ELTA RWR system, which is supposed to be one of the cutting edge RWR systems, so it didn't seem to work too well that day. What is obvious is he never knew what was happening. The fuel tanks are still with the aircraft, and during air-to-air combat, you would always release the fuel tanks before taking on your opponent.
The wreckage shows drop tank, which quite obviously means that he did not take the first step. When you get into combat, you drop your tanks. The tanks are meant to be dropped, so you're lighter and you're more maneuverable. Quite obviously, he didn't know what the hell was going on.
And a lot of people have asked me about that day and how on earth could the Pakistani Air Force have bloody Indian Air Forces know so well. And it's all down to the fantastic training.
The briefing, to going to the aircraft, starting it up, going in the air, it was so professional. And of course, I owe it back to the institution, to the training that we have been provided with.
I've been to Pakistan Air Force many times, and I have to say the training is constant.
I think 26th and 27th of February very clearly indicated that Pakistan is capable of not only handling an offensive operation inside Pakistani territory with Pakistani defensive measures, but is also capable of carrying out a counter-offensive at will, at discretion, and in broad daylight.